What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
Oh, a little bit of some technical setbacks today, but I think we're on track right now.
I don't know about that.
Anytime there's a technical issue, though, as you said, you get nice and fired up.
Oh, I just get all, yeah. You know, if it works, what are you doing? OBS had a big old update and just buggered up everything. It was a...
Oh, it makes me wonder, has anybody ever had an update and gone, wow, I like this so much better?
Right? Like, I was just, I was doing just fine until this update showed up, and then nothing seemed to work. I don't get it. Yeah. Apparently. You never know until actually you hit the live button, and then that's when everything just falls apart. But Scott, everybody can join us live throughout this disaster over on twitch.tv/ the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. Come in and join the shenanigans over there. But if you can't join us live, it is up later over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, Xbox boss gives us a much needed update on the Fable production. Whew, dude. Silent Hill fans discovered leaked info on a remake, and another PlayStation exclusive may make its way to the PC. Oh, Scott,
that's got me excited.
I knew. Absolutely. I figured you'd be pretty pumped about that one. All right, let's get into today's show, dude. It is Fable development gets a promising update from Xbox boss. This is Kate over at Gaming Bible. To say it's been a long time since Fable game was released would be an understatement. There was Fable Fortune back in 2018. Scott, I'm stopping right there. Did you play that game?
Yeah, I completely No, I
Yeah.
completely missed Fable Fortune, actually.
Yeah, I didn't play it either. We'll see. But the short-lived free-to-play digital card game was hardly the sprawling RPG adventure fans were hoping for. If you cast your minds back in 2020, you can recall that a new Fable installment was announced to be in development. After years of silence, we finally have a promising update, Scott. Yo, I'm telling you right now, OBS is not working for us, and they're becoming a bit of a problem, and I'm not too
Yeah,
impressed.
you're hitting a little bit. I'm not certain if it's the internet
There we go.
connection or not, but I'm seeing some
Whew,
stuttering. Oh,
dude.
now you've evened out again.
I'm telling
Strange.
you, it's going to be one of those days. Buckle in, everybody. It's going to be one of those shows. Back when Fable 4 was announced, Playground Games simply confirmed that the game would release on Xbox Series X and S and Microsoft Windows. No potential release date was provided. The bad news is still that we don't have an actual release date. Do we actually know? Very, very little. But as reported by
Yeah.
Twitter's Idle Sloth 84, head of Microsoft Studios Matt Booty, recently made an appearance at PAX West 2022, where he addressed the status of the project. Booty confirmed, quote, "There's a lot of cool stuff," end quote, but added these quotes, I tell you, but added that, quote, "The team has made it perfectly clear that I'm not going to be able to tell you anything until it's ready," end quote. He added, quote, "Playground's craft and dedication to that they've brought to Forza Horizon, every bit of that will be applied to Fable. They get it. They've proven that they get it, and I'm excited for what they get to show you more," end quote. So,
The
Scott,
idea that Forza Horizon team is working on it and in good faith. Well, are these horse races going to be the most intense races I've ever seen in a Fable game? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, what's up, your Doom Guide? Dude, we've had better days so far to the start. OBS,
Yeah,
a
we're
big
gonna have to
old
get Drew
botched
some
update.
competitive games after this because you're gonna be all fired up for some PUBG.
Dude, yo, I got fired up last night. That yeah, I don't even want to get into that discussion because I'll tell you, the guy who shot me first did not have much of a great experience after that following suit. Dude, I tell you, you gotta check that video I sent you. But yeah, it's how do you feel about Fable right now, especially going to Playground Games, a team that is not actually well versed in the RPG world at all, with anything, to be honest. It really is, they are known for racing games, dude, and more of an arcade
Yeah.
experience, right? So this is a big turn for them. What do you think, Scott?
Well, I think it's in uneasy hands, but that's not necessarily something to be worried about. You know,
Sure.
I'm not certain if it's going to be the best team on deck to bring us a Fable game because Fable is kind of its own identity,
Yeah.
but then again, that identity is something that's a decade plus old in my head. So there's a lot of opening where I could accept some kind of strangeness, but
Yeah.
I just really want to get my hands on anything Fable.
Well, yeah, it's been so long since we've seen anything. We got the big reveal, 2 years ago, right? That's the biggest thing for us. Is like,
Wasn't
okay,
that
cool.
just a logo at the initial?
Dude, it was very, very little. We had this little fairy swoop in, and she's flying by, and then the frog goes and sucked her and just ate her up, and then it goes Fable, and then that was it. And I was like, yo, dude, we were pumped. I was more pumped.
Everybody cheered.
We were more pumped that they're actually working on a new Fable game because we've been all kind of asking, like, where is Fable, right? And we've just been waiting and waiting to see what happens next. But I'm very curious to see. I don't doubt that the love is put into the game from Playground Games when it comes to working on Fable because they know how important this IP is. We know how important Halo is, and we've seen the fumbles along the way, especially this past year with Fable and where 343 has taken that game and what's going on right now. And they can't afford to have that as another misstep when it comes to the Xbox, exclusives per se. Back from when they kind of built the foundation of Xbox, there was Halo, dude, and Fable was right there with them, and it was one of those things.
One of the flagship IPs, and Halo has just been so mishandled, to put it well. It's so unfortunate. The hashtag Fire343 is what's going around right now on the internet, and I hope that Playground doesn't find themselves in the same situation because it is such a beloved IP. But is it one of these situations, do you think, that it won't work out well just because Fable's time has passed? Are we into a new era where maybe Fable won't fit?
Yeah, which is funny, right? Because I think that's where I stand with Halo, is that people have moved on from Halo in the franchise as a whole because it just hasn't really gravitated to what's now a standard within the industry, right? When you talk about Fortnite and Call of Duty and even Apex making their way in, yeah, those are now reaching battle royale game modes, but there's still massive franchises, and Halo hasn't been able to keep up with them. Fable, on the other hand, is something different and something unique, and I don't like what do you compare Fable to then, Scott, in this case, right? The Witcher? But dude, The Witcher is a much more serious take on
Oh
that
yeah.
element, right? But when you think of that fantastical world, what else is really around that landscape right now that Fable's really worried about? So do they need to step up, not just because of competition, but just for the the name itself? And I think they can have it on their own, where they aren't having necessarily to be worried about the competition and just focus on their game, where Halo has to worry about not only their game but the competition around them, because it is so big and so dominated by other games, where Fable, I think, is just in a unique spot.
Launched before Battlefield and Call of Duty both, and that was a mistake in Halo's part. No, you're right. I'm a little worried that Fable might not have to rise to the occasion, and that might result in something a little lackluster. But
Sure.
Really, time will tell. I know I'm gonna dip my toe into it when it comes around.
Yeah, dude, we're all gonna be right there. Like, I cannot wait to see what Playground has, and I'm hoping they hold some media events, let us get our hands on early and be able to talk about the game and why. Hopefully, that Fable is about to make a return. We'll see.
I'm afraid anytime they promise too much now, because Fable was the original.
Dude,
over-promised game.
It was the promised land, right? And then yeah, there's so many features and functions missing from the game. It was just a Peter Molyneux kind of expectation, right? Yeah, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and then they only really did this and this. So it's kind of head scratcher.
But not as limited by technology anymore, though.
Well, that's just it, right? The opportunity now, because technology has advanced so fast and so much to a larger scope, dude, the possibilities at this point is like endless. Unreal Engine 5 is a serious engine to be working with, and just opens up windows of opportunity and possibilities. But Scott, why don't you take the next one? This is a you game. I'm just gonna go like this.
Yeah, this is one that I'm certain you will not be checking out. But this is a rumor has been making the rounds about Silent Hill remake, codenamed Sakura, depending on how you pronounce it. I had a bit of your flair there.
Nah.
Hesitation with the name. Now, this comes from David Carkizel at PSU. He writes more. On top of rumors that a Silent Hill 2 remake has just leaked, a remake project for the original Silent Hill has also seemed to leak. Also from Dusk Golem. Now, Dusk Golem has been going around very recently again.
Right.
Now we have a quote here. I said this in the other thread. I'll say it here. There's an additional Silent Hill leak that's not related to Silent Hill 2 remake, but to the Sakura teaser that seems like it's about to get spread. I'm having a little hard time following the wording here, but bear with me. This is a quote. Already saw some in possession of it, and was the thing I was hoping wouldn't get leaked, and kind of confirms what I suspected was leaked. I think you can understand my issue here. Yeah. My suggestion, if you want to avoid spoilers, is not to look too deeply at it. The leak includes an entire story transcript of Sakura that spoils the whole thing. It is in Japanese, but still. I actually quite like the story of Sakura and would recommend not to spoil it for yourself if you're interested in playing it. I know for many people there's a curiosity aspect. Many currently don't believe this leak is real, but it is. And I think having the story of that spoiled sucks. And I recommend avoiding it if you're at all interested in playing the free teaser in the future. The free teaser, you say?
Ooh, Scott.
A little bit of information there. Currently, what's in the OP at the time of writing is just a minuscule version of stuff. Just a small piece. There's more to this, but it's been privately circulating this morning, and if it gets fully out, no, it contains full story spoilers for Sakura. He goes on to iterate a few times. This will be quite a large spoiler, so if you're very interested, perhaps avoid it. But at the same time, just I would recommend absorbing it like I am now, where this is something really big in the future to look forward to.
Yeah, no, that's fair, dude. Spoilers are the worst. Like I'll always remember.
Yeah, you're not a fan of spoilers.
I cannot stand people who spoil stuff. I hate it, dude. I want everybody to
stop watching The Walking Dead.
Well, I just want to be able to have that first time experience because you can never take that back, right? It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of the most powerful aspects of gaming is getting that big surprise reveal or that big little holy crap kind of moment. And then if someone spoils that for you, dude, that sucks. Like The Last of Us Part 2 was a huge spoiler, which I was somehow able to avoid until I played the game. And yeah, like that
was a heartbreak one too.
Oh, dude, they're impactful moments for a reason, right? Because the developers want to set you up for this very important moment, and they don't want people to spoil it. But yet here we go. Somehow, somebody on the team or someone hacks in and kind of gets this information and then leaks that out to people. Some people are like, I don't care. I just want to play it. Where I'm like, no, I need that first impactful moment to experience it on my own and not have someone spoil it for me. Dude, I've had games spoiled. I've had, my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3, spoiled by my cousin. And I was, dude, man. I was so mad. I didn't go back to the game for 6 months. And then
it's so much bad. It's so much worse when it's spoiled before release because there's not a thing you can do about it. Yeah. At least if the movie's been out, we'll say movie for 2-3 weeks, whatever. That's your own fault, perhaps. Yeah. When I watched the first Saw movie, which I'm certain you have not seen, there is a massive spoiler to that, and I already knew it going in. So I'm watching the scenes going, oh, wow. Well, and I think back to my father spoiled Star Wars for somebody way back in must have been the late 70s, early 80s. And I think of that as a lesson. Don't spoil things.
No, absolutely.
It's just not fun.
Yeah, and be careful right now if you're looking to play God of War Ragnarok. Spoilers are out there, right? So
yeah, that's another big one.
Dude, anytime I see God of War, instantly I skip it. I just nope. I don't even want to know what the headline says.
Alt F4.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gone out of here. But what's not gone, Scott, is what Housemarque's up to. Over at GDC, they talk seemingly confirms Returnal has a PC version. Scott, how excited
I'm so pumped for this one. Another PlayStation game that I can play with an Xbox controller.
This is David over at PSU. Housemarque's stellar third-person sci-fi adventure Returnal has been a visual feat for PS5 players since it launched. It is an absolute masterpiece of a game, dude. And these aren't even my particular styles of gameplay either. But
you got beat up pretty hard by Returnal, didn't you?
Sure did, absolutely did. And but it was it was so worth it. Like I had a blast playing, but I just hit a wall, and then that's the way that game went, right? With so many of Sony's first-party titles being moved to PC, the question of when Returnal would get the same treatment has been on the minds of many, and it seems like a PC version already exists. It just isn't ready to release yet. At GDC 2022, Housemarques held a presentation talking about what the studio learned about particle effects during Returnal's development, spotted by Digital Foundry's Alex. I'm just going to go with Alex. It looks like the version of Returnal
Battaglia,
being shown is running on PC. There's still been no official word from PlayStation or Housemarque at all that confirms Returnal will be coming to PC, but there's a clear desire from Sony to continue bolstering its PC presence, and Returnal could play a big part in that. Dude, this is
I really hope so.
Wow, why wouldn't they? At this point, I think Sony is looking at the PC landscape and realizing that they need to be there too, right?
Well, they're
one of those things.
Their idea to the contrary does make sense because there's people like me who I don't have a PlayStation.
Sure.
And I really do want one, but it's such a financial kind of investment that I'm not ready to make yet. Yep. Although I'm staring at my PC right now, which was at one point a financial investment. Now, if I could get Ghost of Tsushima over on PC, I'm almost ready to skip this generation, which I understand I'm definitely missing out on a lot.
No, you are. Dude, so many games you're missing. Yeah. No, I get it.
I really want to play Last of Us.
It's I'm telling you, man, like even the remastered part one is a that is the
Oh,
way to play that
I
game.
watched your video and I was like, oh man, that's it. I need to play this game.
Yeah, and if you haven't played any of them, obviously just start there and then play the sequel because that's the way it should be played. But man, there's such a
Well, those
controversial.
aforementioned spoilers, you want to get the first game in there first. Otherwise, it won't matter as much.
Yeah, it's not as impactful, right? That's kind of it sets everything up for what the second game turns into. But it again, Sony looking at the PC market and the landscape, going, this is an important part of our marketing strategy. I think moving forward is to get in there. Will they get it on day one? Scott, is one of the things I'm still waiting for. Right, Microsoft right now, Game Pass day one, PC day one, PlayStation, not really there yet. Right, they're still holding back. They're gonna go, we'll wait a year and then we'll port things over to PC. I'm like, I'm not sure why you wait that long when you can capitalize on a large scope audience and allow them to get into the PlayStation family, the PlayStation ecosystem. Does that bring PlayStation players over, or are you so entrenched in the world of PC and go, yeah, we're the master race, this is where I'm staying, I don't care about your PlayStation, I don't care about your Xbox, I just want my PC and to play games there. And a lot of people do that, and that is fine.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, I want to sit on my couch and play my games, and I'm just much more of a controller than mouse and keyboard kind of guy. So for me,
I very recently spread across both mediums. Now I really appreciate PC shooters, which I didn't think was going to be the case.
I can't do the PC shooters.
I think it was just a new skill to build. Now I'm no longer at the top of the tree.
Dude, I'm too old to get. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's not true, actually, but still, PC is just not for me. If you're doing point and click adventure games, I'm all in. But when it comes to shooters, just give me my controller and put me on Xbox or PlayStation. Yo, I want that new PlayStation controller, dude. The Elite version controller. I'm down for that. That looks cool. Scott, let's get into the next one because I want to talk about this one as well. Hogwarts Legacy update confirms what we've feared for the game.
Yeah, Scott. This is directly speaks to me. This is something that I thought I could get excited for, but I could not.
No way. Unfortunately, an update to the frequently asked question about Hogwarts Legacy confirms that fan favorite feature Quidditch is not playable in the game, in spite of promotional materials showing this could be the case.
And that's why I'm annoyed. Because they specifically showed the beaters and the bludgeons
advertising. Dude, that sucks. That like Quidditch, it's such a staple within the world of Harry Potter, in the world of what you would think Hogwarts Legacy could have transformed that into. Do you think we get Quidditch in the sequel?
Oh, but maybe. I hope with fan kind of response that they put it into an update, perhaps a DLC. Even if you put it through a paywall, that's can be acceptable. That's not preferred, of course.
No,
but
of course not.
Well, has this been marketed as a games of service? Because I don't believe so.
No,
if it were, then I would expect it to come down the line, Quidditch. But
yeah, sure. Dude,
I think that's not going to happen. But here's maybe a silver lining. Are they going to spin this off into a Quidditch release on its own?
Whoa.
Just like Quidditch on GameCube was. Awesome. That must have been 2004.
Nate joins us and says, at least we know now, not closer to release. Dude, that's a good call too, right? I'd rather, let's get that bad news out of the way versus, oh, by the way, 2 days before, there's no Quidditch in the game.
And then even worse. Oh no, it's coming at the beginning of August. No, wait, the end of August. Okay, season 2. Maybe season 3.
You got to think though.
Looking at you, 343i.
That's they have to have some kind of plan to keep this game going, right? I don't think they want to go, okay, here's the game and now we're done. Maybe they're holding that back, Scott, like you say, for some DLC. I think that'd be a smart move. I don't think you put it out on its own. I'm not sure if that's the way to go because you want to keep this game alive and keep it going for the future and maybe get it ready for a sequel, right? And how do you do that? You look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, granted, Ubisoft is a much bigger team than Avalanche, but they keep dropping DLC. They keep dropping more DLC. Then there's more, and to the point where now they even spun off on its own game with a new one, Mirage, coming out next year. Rumors. We'll find out more on the 10th, actually, this weekend.
I'm wondering, perhaps there's an issue with multiplayer in that this is why it's not part of Hogwarts Legacy, because maybe that multiplayer suite, that background isn't there to allow. Because Quidditch is all fun and games, but I want to play Quidditch against you.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point too, right? You want to be able to pull in some kind of multiplayer aspect to that. Is that too technical right now for what they're focused on? Do they want to make sure? I think at this point, because of the world of Harry Potter and the creator and the turmoil going on with all of that content, they got to narrow it down and be, okay, this is what we're going to work on. Let's make sure this stands on its own and doesn't get pulled into the ropes of everything else that's kind of going on, right? Let them build out this world, this vision. Dude, they showed us the rooms. Have you seen some of the rooms and the landscapes, how they open up the doors to it? Like, man, oh man.
I like the staircases that move on their own. That's one of my favorite things I remember from the books and the movies.
I can't wait to get lost in the world of Harry Potter again, right? It's been so long since we've seen it in the movies, seen a game, especially to this kind of caliber, to that next gen level, that I think we're going to be in for one incredible experience. And again, just support the developers. She gets a piece of the pie at the end of the day because it is her IP. But at the same time, a lot of developers poured their heart and soul into this game, and I think it could be worth every penny.
It's a work of much more than one person. And if you look into anything that you enjoy, you'll find a corporation somewhere that you don't enjoy that enjoys your money.
Yeah.
There's really not a good way of going about it, because obviously the creator, the writer has such a social kind of ripple effect. But I want to separate the art from the artist.
No,
in fact, there's many more artists working on it now than there was when she was penning it on napkins or whatever the story was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Scott, we do have a couple releases today, though, buddy. What do we have?
We have Biomutant now made its way to the new consoles on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. We have Temtem on Xbox XS, PlayStation 5, Switch, and PC. The Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition is on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Dude, a lot of games making their way over to the next generation consoles. Biomutant, I think, it was funny. We rated it high. We liked it on our side of the team. And then you look at some of the other critical reviews out there, it was not well received, actually.
I think they promised the world and weren't able to deliver. I think that's kind of what it's like Spore. You remember Spore?
Yeah, I do, actually. But Scott, just like that, my friend, we're going to wrap up for today's show. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. Thanks again for watching. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficial ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.